Warmest greetings to all of you. Welcome to Craft Your Future, the channel dedicated to sharing knowledge for holistic personal growth through inspiring books. Have any of you had a childhood experience like this? As a kid, you felt like a lonely planet in your own home, surrounded by two giants. Those giants had unpredictable emotions. Some days, you had no idea what you did to upset them, yet they'd suddenly lash out. In those moments, you didn't know how to communicate with them, leaving you feeling utterly powerless. Gradually, despite being the most carefree, innocent child, you started becoming cautious about everything, especially hyper-aware of their looks, emotions, and words. As you grew older, every decision you wanted to make had to pass through your parents' final authority. You might have heard echoes of shared frustrations like these. My dad forced me to change my college entrance exam preferences. My mom insisted on breaking me up with my boyfriend just because she didn't like him. From what you wore, what you ate, which school you chose, where you worked, who you loved, or who you married, many children in this society have no choice but to obey their parents' commands. Throughout your upbringing, your life was filled with resentment, frustration, anger, and suffocation. If you felt this way, it's very likely your parents are emotionally immature and you're living under their control. Some say childhood is just childhood. Things change when you grow up. Once you're an adult, with a job, a family of your own, living separately, you'll no longer be controlled by your parents. But in reality, even if you're in your 50s or 60s, or have a wildly successful career, if you still can't understand your inner self or recognize whether your parents are emotionally immature, the wounds within you will never heal. Your parents' control might haunt you until the end of your life. This can lead to struggles in relationships, difficulties expressing emotions, or even an inability to recognize your true needs. And if you've inherited this from your parents, your own children are likely living or will live with emotionally immature parents. This is an endless, vicious cycle. Dr. Lindsay Gibson, through her renowned psychology book, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, offers practical tools to protect yourself when interacting with emotionally immature parents. Reclaim your emotional autonomy and heal both yourself and the inner child within you. With her extensive experience as a clinical psychologist, the author can guide you out of the shadows of childhood trauma, empowering you to move forward boldly, knowing that we can't change our origins, but we can choose how we live. What your family of origin owes you, you can absolutely reclaim for yourself. Now, let's dive into today's sharing. The first question to take a step toward understanding our inner selves is, how does it feel to live with emotionally immature parents? The first feeling, one that almost everyone has experienced, is loneliness. The loneliness of living with emotionally immature parents can be so profound that it feels like having parents is no different than having none. Along with loneliness comes powerlessness. This stems from their emotional communication style. What is emotional communication? It's how they convey their unpredictable emotions to you. For example, your mom comes home from work, her face dark, silent. You ask, "Mom, what's wrong?" But she says nothing. Her silence is emotional communication. Though wordless, it sends a signal to you. Guess why I'm upset? The unpredictable behaviors of emotionally immature parents are like a child's game. They address issues by projecting emotions, creating a tense, suffocating atmosphere that makes you feel stifled in your own home. After powerlessness comes pressure. You often feel coerced and trapped in difficult situations. The great Russian writer Tolstoy once said, "Happy families are happy in their own way, but unhappy families are all alike." Research shows that unhappy families share a common trait. If even one family member is controlling, always demanding others follow their wishes, the family will undoubtedly suffer immense pain and emotional wounds. The fourth trait is feeling secondary. Your parents always prioritize themselves, disregarding your true emotions. For instance, if you fail an exam, their first concern is their own embarrassment, not your feelings. Next, you feel distant from your parents. They avoid closeness, emotional conversations, or genuinely opening up to you. You also feel disrespected. This often happens when parents disregard your personal boundaries and individuality, like secretly reading your diary, monitoring you, or interfering with your choices. And finally, after enduring these painful emotions, you long to live differently. Time and again, you've tried your best to express yourself to your parents, hoping to communicate and make them understand your true feelings. But every time, you're met with one-sided interactions that lead to nowhere. Or worse, you feel unhappy and uncomfortable when forced to do something. You're sad when your parents act unreasonably, but you're not allowed to speak up. The moment you do, you're scolded or ignored outright. As a result, disappointment overwhelms you, and you gradually stop expressing your true emotions. These are the common feelings when interacting with emotionally immature parents. Living with one or more of these emotions long-term inevitably leads to being controlled by your parents and losing your emotional autonomy. But why are you controlled? How have your parents controlled you? In theory, when family conflicts arise, adults should take responsibility, since they're more mature and need to maintain the family atmosphere. But in reality, in homes with emotionally immature parents, the children often have to play the adult role, taking on the responsibility of resolving conflicts. Yet you're just a child, so the only way to resolve things is to comply, obey, please your parents, or when conflicts arise, apologize first and make amends to ease tensions. Over time, this strips children of emotional control and mental freedom. We need to understand that the tool of control here is emotion. Emotions are a double-edged sword. Joyful emotions feel like a gift, a privilege, and you're grateful for them. But painful emotions make you feel punished or deprived. These negative emotions, when interacting with emotionally immature parents, repeat constantly from childhood. As a result, you become highly sensitive, reacting strongly to emotions. A harsh word or unreasonable action from them can leave you ruminating, fearful, anxious, or sad for a long time. The more emotions affect you, the more your parents can use them as a tool to control you, demanding you follow their wishes. If you don't comply, you feel guilty, but when you do, you realize you're no longer yourself. This leads to repeated failures in life, struggles with emotional regulation, and disappointment in your partner once you start your own family. This is the consequence of their control. So why understand this? To dive deeper into the inner world of emotionally immature parents, to identify who they are and why they became this way. Who are emotionally immature parents? In reality, many parents are mature in age, but not in emotions. Outside the home, they're composed, handle work well, communicate with no issue, and may even be highly successful with prestigious social status. But at home, they remain giant children. Based on research and clinical experience, the author identifies 4 types of emotionally immature parents. The first type is emotionally volatile. These parents often lose control of their emotions, are easily hurt, and overreact to everything. In a short time, their demeanor can shift from deeply caring to coldly indifferent, joyful one moment and angry the next. Their emotional swings make them unpredictable, creating a significant pressure in the family. They're easily provoked, and when that happens, the whole family rushes to comfort them. The second type is actively controlling. These parents seem normal on the surface as they strive to care for and invest in their children. However, their over-involvement leads to lack of empathy. They force their children to behave in ways they deem appropriate, often being authoritarian, meddling in every aspect of their children's lives, setting high expectations, and being overly critical. These parents are often busy, doing whatever it takes to raise outstanding and successful children to meet their personal goals. As a result, they feel frustrated and exhausted both physically and mentally. They don't care whether their children are happy or enjoy what they're doing, measuring everything by goals, like achievements, hours studied daily, or extracurricular classes attended. In truth, constantly talking to children in terms of goals is deeply unkind. Imagine coming home from work and your child asks, "What's your KPI this month, Dad? What's your ranking at work, Mom? How much is your year-end bonus?" You dread coming home. Yet many parents treat their children to these standards. The third type is passive. These parents avoid all forms of conflict and tension. While this may make them easier to live with, it creates a sense of distance. They're unwilling to have honest conversations, initiate discussions about feelings, share emotions, or stand up for themselves or their children when needed. And finally, the rejecting type. These parents crave solitude, spending minimal time with their children.
Their interactions with the family often occur only for serious, significant matters. They lack patience and disregard others' needs, communicating with their children through orders, anger, or detachment. Their children often feel uncomfortable and unimportant to their parents. How many of you, hearing this, grew up in such circumstances? Your eyes may have welled up countless times. Perhaps you've grown so accustomed to these wounds that they've become scars. Or maybe you're unsure whether you've truly matured in raising your own children. Today, exploring parental emotional immaturity isn't about pointing fingers, but understanding their inner world and our own. After recognizing these 4 types, let's delve into the root causes of why so many parents, even in their 40s, 60s, or 70s, remain emotionally immature.
What leads to parents' emotional immaturity? Research shows that a child matures when they receive genuine care and love from their parents. However, emotionally immature parents have passed through that phase, yet remain like children craving attention. The core reason is history repeating itself. Emotionally immature parents often had emotionally immature parents themselves. As children, they too were hurt and lacked emotional support. Their strongest emotions may have been suppressed, preventing them from exploring or expressing their thoughts and feelings to develop healthy emotional growth. This limits their ability to self-regulate and connect emotionally with others. As adults, these giant children in your home, no matter how rigid they appear outwardly, are deeply vulnerable inside. Having never received care or healing, they've built a psychological defensive wall to protect themselves from feeling unsafe. This lack of security drives their need to dominate and control others. This leads to certain inner traits. When others don't prioritize me, I risk collapsing. This is the first inner voice of emotionally immature parents. Young children are naturally self-centered, and emotionally immature adults never outgrow this instinct. They always put themselves first, so their children must obey and respond positively to stabilize their emotions. To achieve this, they're extremely strict, ensuring their defensive wall isn't toppled by setting clear role-based boundaries. You'll notice some people, rising from poverty through hard work, treat hired help harshly when affluent, drawing a clear hierarchy. Why? Because they think, I paid for them, so I have the right. This is defining people by roles. Similarly, if parents define family members by roles, children must fulfill certain duties, the eldest must act a certain way, the youngest another. These underlying currents create feelings of unfairness and distance within the family. At the opposite extreme, some parents protect their defensive wall through indifference, not strictness. These individuals are sensitive, unable to regulate emotions, or afraid to express feelings. Both extremes can lead to mental health issues like depression, narcissistic personality disorder, bipolar disorder, and more. Next, after prioritizing themselves, their inner voice naturally becomes, I'm always right. Emotionally immature parents lack self-reflection, meaning they can't admit fault. Admitting fault feels like their defensive wall would crumble, so they must never be wrong. These parents are like children with a distorted worldview. Once they form an opinion, they can't change it, becoming highly defensive when challenged. Without self-reflection, they can't handle external pressure, needing immediate release at home, making them easily irritable with loved ones. Especially for highly educated but emotionally immature individuals, their walls are even thicker and taller. The author notes that a person's intelligence may not extend to their emotional world. Some excel at work and solve external problems brilliantly, but their emotional world is empty. Such people struggle to reflect on their parenting, a root cause of the 4 types of emotionally immature parents. So, facing this rigid wall, what must children do to heal and reclaim themselves? The author emphasizes that to free yourself from the control of emotionally immature parents, the core approach is establishing your own boundaries. Many mistakenly think setting boundaries to avoid harm means numbing emotional sensitivity toward parents. For example, if parents yell or berate, you might think, "It's fine, I'll close off my heart to protect myself," numbing my emotions. Some even leave home, live alone, and ignore their parents. This emotional numbing, if unhealed over years, causes issues in expressing emotions with others, cutting off emotional connections with your own children, perpetuating the cycle of pain. Setting boundaries isn't about isolating your inner world or escaping conflict, but about standing at a safe distance to confront issues clearly and handle them better. This is the first step to establishing boundaries. Children raised by emotionally immature parents often live with resentment, feeling unloved. Why do my parents treat me this way? But now, with the awareness to set boundaries, you'll realize they lack the ability to express love, likely due to their own emotional immaturity. Understanding why they act this way and knowing it's not about you didn't do anything wrong, stops the internal battle draining your spirit, a crucial first step. Next, you must stop fixating on your parents' emotional behaviors. For example, if your dad angrily smashes a bowl in front of you, if you're still under his shadow, you'll flinch, your body tensing. Some might take the blame and submit, others argue back or leave immediately. Both reactions show you're still too focused on their emotional behaviors. The best approach is to pause for a moment, quietly clean up, then calmly talk to your dad. This sounds easy, but is incredibly hard in practice, as your body's instinctive reaction, flinching, anxiety, loss of control, can't lie. So, give yourself plenty of chances to practice, gradually adapting until you can smile and face it all. The third vital tool for building boundaries is learning to say no to unreasonable demands from emotionally immature parents. Living under their pressures and demands, the hardest thing is saying no. It's tough because you fear guilt, their anger, their criticism, their punishment, or unpredictable consequences. Notice the word fear repeated here. It's a deep-rooted obsession. But now, you must face it head-on. If you keep fearing, it means you're not ready to grow. Fear keeps you trapped in their control cycle. To refuse rationally, you must train your critical thinking. I've emphasized critical thinking in many books. It's a vital life tool. We often fear being brainwashed, but others' brainwashing isn't as dangerous as self-brainwashing. For example, if your parents demand you pay off their debts while you're struggling financially, without critical thinking, you might believe, as their child, I must pay their debts. This one-sided thinking is self-brainwashing. Instead, if you face them fearlessly and use critical thinking, you'll ask, beyond what they're telling me, what's the truth? Is there evidence to verify their claims? How serious is the crisis they've created? Is it an emergency? Is their demand the best solution? Can they resolve it themselves once calm? Is this your responsibility? After thoroughly questioning yourself from all angles, you'll calm down, reestablish your boundaries, and avoid being swayed by their emotions. Critical thinking gives you the confidence and rationality to reject unreasonable demands from emotionally immature parents. You might still fear, is refusing and not obeying my parents wrong? Critical thinking helps you address issues objectively, without bias. But to know if your choices align with your conscience, the core is knowing what you truly want. Often, we're led astray because we don't know what we want or where we're going. So, reflect deeply. What outcome do you want for yourself? What kind of life do you desire? Then, pursue that goal with effort. Our pain often stems from not wanting to follow our parents, but also not knowing what we want, so we drift, shrug, and think, whatever, I'll just follow them. More importantly, the reason you feel guilty for not obeying your parents is often because you've grown used to playing their savior. So, next, you must learn to let go of this savior role. Research shows that highly sensitive, empathetic children are more easily controlled by parents. Often, before parents even make demands, these children take on responsibilities revolving around their parents' moods, living in exhaustion and pain. Many have shared with me that even after starting their own families and living separately, their parents constantly argue and call them back to mediate. Juggling both sides leaves them drained. If you were in their shoes,
what would you do? Many think, I'm their child, I have a duty, can I just ignore them? But thinking this way means allowing yourself to play the savior. In reality, your parents are adults and must take responsibility for their actions. If you intervene in their lessons, they'll never grow. Once you're accustomed to being their savior, they'll love you staying in that role. Initially, they may not have had many issues to draw your attention, but now, feeling validated by your involvement, their conflicts escalate. So, you must abandon this dependent dynamic and focus more on yourself, discovering your value and strengths, reminding yourself, everyone has their own path. My parents' lives don't need my saving. Another useful tool is avoiding conflict and choosing subtler ways to interact with emotionally immature parents. As mentioned, they're self-centered, using emotions to pressure their children. If you refuse their demands, they may become angry and irrational. So, instead of direct confrontation, try sidestepping. Sometimes, a smile and a different approach can minimize conflict. A subtler method is empathizing with their emotions. You don't agree with their actions, but you can acknowledge their feelings. For example, say, Mom, I know you're really upset. Dad, I know you're worried about me. This is a compromise and mutual care among family, showing them how a mature person behaves, making it highly effective. Another approach is imagination. For instance, if you come home and your mom suddenly snaps, scolding you for no reason or endlessly complaining, imagine her voice as Donald Duck's quacking. Her words will feel less serious. Or, if you can't bear it, step away. I'm going for a walk, or I'm heading out for a jog. These actions create space for yourself, a form of self-protection. When necessary, you must courageously stop them, like if you're being hit or insulted. This is your right as a mature person. A key tool for breaking free from control is actively eliminating negative perceptions. To make their children comply, emotionally immature parents often use criticism, blame, or dismissal. If you don't listen to Dad, you'll only hurt yourself. Mom sacrificed her whole life for you. Why are you like this? That's your sibling. How can you be so irresponsible as the elder? Don't let such words disorient you or label yourself negatively. Instead, remind yourself, I did nothing wrong. I've tried my best, and stumbling is part of growing. Positive self-affirmations build confidence and courage, preventing others from defining you. With daily practice of these tools, you'll gradually establish your boundaries. With your own space, you can better recognize yourself and live authentically. But above all, instead of endlessly battling wounds from emotionally immature parents or focusing on them, the best approach is shifting your focus to self-improvement. Pour your energy into work that builds confidence and creates value for society. To grow holistically, you must reconnect with your inner self, accepting yourself unconditionally. Everyone makes mistakes. You can too, but you mustn't hate or reject yourself. Only by accepting yourself can you accept the outside world and others. Moreover, you must accept the past and look to the future. This is crucial. Don't finish this book and go home to argue with your parents, disrespecting them because you see them as giant children or feeling unlucky. Accepting the past means viewing what happened as the most reasonable part of your life. Your parents did their best within their understanding, at the very least giving you the chance to live and be healthy today. Since you don't know what they endured or felt in their childhood, blaming them only makes you less mature. You must grow, learn to accept, understand, love, and appreciate them. Accepting the past means embracing it. Looking to the future means growing together. If your parents can't change, at least you've matured. When you do, the sky, air, and sunlight in your life will feel warmer, brighter, and radiant outward. Remember, when you change, the world changes. When you mature, your parents may too. Finally, this book lists a set of basic rights for adult children, which I find very useful for protecting yourself effectively and reasonably. As a grown child, what are your fundamental rights?
First, the right to set boundaries. You must consciously learn to establish your own boundaries, as this book suggests. Second, the right to not be emotionally threatened. Your parents can ask you to do things, but they can't threaten you. If threatened, you don't have to comply. Third, the right to emotional autonomy and mental freedom. You have the freedom to express your emotions and thoughts. If your parents deem your feelings wrong or your choices inferior, that's an invasion of your autonomy. Fourth, the right to choose your relationships. You can decide who to connect with or avoid. That's your right. Fifth, the right to make the best choices for yourself. Sixth, the right to stay true to your lifestyle. Seventh, the right to equality and respect. Eighth, the right to prioritize your health and happiness. Finally, the right to care for and protect yourself. These are the basic rights adult children should have. I sincerely hope this book empowers you to find ways to overcome past wounds, heal, and reconcile with yourself so you can truly live a life of your own choosing, lightly and freely. Most importantly, I believe that breaking free from childhood pain and ending the endless cycle of giant children starts with you. If you found this video helpful, share it with those who need it. Give me a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our weekly videos. Once again, thank you, and see you in the next videos.